Hi, I'm Terrell Edwards, and welcome to Impact. I will be interviewing families as well as finding out how they've coped with the loss of loved ones. You will see and hear soon how their lives have been impacted.
Police are now beginning an investigation into the murder of a teen.
You know, you want your kids to bury you. You don't want to bury your kids.
And we did try speaking with Johnson's family today. They were not ready to talk with us on camera. Loved ones tell me this was not the outcome that they were expecting.
A retired Jacksonville police officer is using his son's death for good. He hopes his effort will save lives.
As 25-year-old Kim Warner Jr. was shot and killed in front of his East Side home in September 2015. Police haven't made any arrests in the case.
Were you still a police officer at the time when you got retired?
I was retired.
Oh, okay.
I was retired.
How long ago did you retire?
I retired 12 years ago. I retired 2010, so he got killed 2015.
Yeah, so I mean, being a police officer, a retired police officer, and then your son gets shot. What are the chances? I mean, to me, it seemed like you would. That's off limits. I would think that. I would think that, but the reality of it is we aren't secret from it's just like preacher's kids. Our kids aren't secret from anything happening to them, just like everybody else. And me growing up in the hood, I grew up right off of Jesse Street, right off of Florida Avenue on Jesse Street. Originally from out east, and I talked to most of my friends are people I grew up with, or not that I grew up with, but people from the streets. I was a cop for 26 years, but I always kept close with people that, I got some people out in the streets, man, that I know doing what they ain't got no business doing, but I trust them more than I trust some of the dudes I used to work with. Oh, wow.
And, you hear that term all the time, keeping it real, but that's how I feel about certain people, that's why I moved back over here in the hood, man, because that's where I want to be, Yeah. I can live anywhere in the city I want to live, but I choose to live right here.
And you can make a difference right here, too.
People come by here, man, when I was trying to get this house back restored, somebody got shot off of about 8 blocks from here. People, his friends, his brother was in the car crying. They pulled up, blew the horn, and people come up in front of my house, blow the horn, and I come out and they ask me all kind of legal questions and stuff like that. So I know I'm doing some good here in the hood. There's still a lot of good left in the hood, and that's why I want to be here.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of good in this hood, man.
Absolutely.
And I believe in being here. If that can help these jokers out, man, with legal questions or whatever the case might be, that's what I want to do. That's my calling. That's one of my ways that I was doing it before Desi was killed. But that's my way of definitely honoring him by, trying to put this work in the hood. When you meet him, you like him.
Kim Varner remembers his son Kim Jr., nicknamed Desi, with a smile.
He's a great athlete, basketball, football. I even had him up in the gym doing some boxing.
So you were very active in his life?
Very active in his life.
Desi Varner was killed 1.5 years ago outside his father's home on Jacksonville's east side. It was his family's darkest day. I reported on it just hours after the shooting happened, and at the time, the family members didn't want to talk about it. But now Varner Sr. says it is time to speak up.
I mean, he was still that good, solid person on the inside, but he probably made some bad decisions in life. And what happened to him, I don't know if there was a result of that or just because of who he hung out with or what the deal was.
The motive still unclear. Varner Sr. believes the 2 men who killed him were later killed in separate shootings, but he's putting the negativity behind him.
My son being killed, I feel was something to kind of help kick me off to get me back out there on the streets and talking to kids.
Varner Sr. was a Jacksonville Sheriff's Officer for 26 years. He now works as a homicide investigator for the public defender. But off-duty, he works to win over hearts of troubled youth.
We got to stop sitting behind a desk. We got to take it to the streets.
He's teamed up with others in the community, including pastors and police, trying to sway at-risk people away from a life of crime.
I've been out there talking to kids on the streets now ever since the day of the funeral. I left the funeral. My wife and I left, and I went and talked to some of the kids that day in the neighborhood.
Not everyone has responded well. It's an uphill battle. But Varner believes he can change lives and save lives. Second chances.
And second chances got to be granted to these kids. You can't just forget about them, lock them up and forget about them.
It's a new mission in honor of his late son.
I see some holes over there. Is that the car
That's his car over here. It was parked in front of the house where he was shot and killed. They shot up his car.
Can we go take a look at it?
Yes, let's go look at it.
All right. So go ahead.
So this car was parked in front of my house, right out here in front of the house. And as you can see the bullet holes in the car here. It looks like to me, this is my own assumption, I worked a couple of homicide cases and all that when I was in there. He used to use his keypad all the time. He never would use his fob, he always used his keypad to get in his car. So with no bullet holes being right here, what it tells me, he was here trying to get in the car. When he started getting shot, you see him up here, and they're coming at an angle. So whoever's shooting at him was shooting from this way, shooting this way. So apparently they started shooting at him. I know he had a bullet hole in his leg, went through his calf. I can see that one. And he started running, and he ran across here, and you can see the bullet holes coming across here. Some of them skipped across the car. And he ran around the car, and he fell between the car and this, of course, this car was in front of the house.
Oh, okay.
So he fell on this side of the car trying to protect himself, use the car for cover. And when he fell, he was laying up against the fence in a fetal-like position, like he was trying to protect himself from being hit from gunfire. And apparently the guys who shot him, they ended up walking up on him, and because one of them was in his head, and you can tell that it was in his head. It wasn't, from where he ran around. They shot that. It had to be a shot directly down at his head, because the blood was right underneath his head. But he was laying about right here, and of course the car was there. He was laying about right here. His head was barely propped up against the fence, and he was in a fetal position with his torso area down. I could see a bullet hole in his calf muscle here. I could see one in his head, and I could see one in his shoulder. What I couldn't see, because the way he was turned down like this, what I couldn't see was he got hit about 4 or 5 times in his torso area. And that had to happen when he was running around, I guess, running around trying to protect himself. But he, like I said, he died in that fetal position with his head up against the fence right here. And I was telling somebody else, crazy thing, the first year anniversary after he got killed, the same place where his head was laying up here between this fence here, I think it was Easter, 3 lilies grew. And what's crazy, when I left home that day, they wasn't there. When I came home that day, the flowers up out the ground, they had bloomed. I took pictures of them. I sent them to his mother and his sister. I said, hey man, these flowers weren't there when I left house this morning. When I came back this evening, I was gone maybe 8-9 hours. I came back home, these flowers up here. I'd never seen a flower grow and bloom. But there was 3 flowers there, so she looked it up. She said, well, what kind of flower? I said, I'm not sure. So I sent her a picture of them. And she said, I'm gonna look to see what the meaning of these flowers are. And so the flowers, I think it was a lily. I believe it was a lily. She said the meaning of those flowers, how roses mean, red roses mean I love you, so forth. The pink colored lily meant that I miss you. And there was 3 of them, and he got 3 kids.
Wow.
So, you can play on it however you want to play on it. That's the way I took it, that he was trying to let his kids know, hey, I miss you. And I don't remember if it was Easter or the anniversary around that week when he got killed. But that's the way I took it. He's trying to let his kids know that he missed them. So his youngest child wasn't even born. It was killed while she was still, her mom was pregnant with him. She was born 4 months after Desi was killed. So.
Tonight, Action News Jax is discovering new links between the murdered son of a former JSO officer and a controversial group.
Desi Varner was shot and killed last week on the north side.
Kim Varner says he'll never forget the day his son was killed, September 24th, 2015.
I can take you to that place. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I get a phone call that, my son is laying out in front of my house dead.
25-year-old Desi Varner was shot and killed on East 11th Street.
Just leaning on my faith, and my faith got me through it.
But he wanted to do more than just get through the tragedy. The retired JSO officer wanted to make a change in his East Side community.
I said it at his funeral, I'm gonna start pounding the streets and try and get some of these guys off the street, bring them in and show them that there's a better life.
The very same day of the funeral, Varner says he and his wife began mentoring the same kind of young men that took his son's life.
He came to me one day and said, Pops, man, you need to help me talk to some of these guys out here on the street. A lot of my friends don't have a daddy. I got a daddy. I need you to reach out to some of them.
For the last 3 years, he's walked and talked with young men in his community at least twice a week.
I saw those dog tags there. Is that from him? Or from
These dog tags, Desi had them on when he was shot and killed. One of them says Kamari Varner, has his date of birth, and he got Daddy's soldier on it. It's got his middle daughter, Chloe Varner, date of birth, and Daddy's angel. It's these right here, he actually had them on. Desi wore these every day. He wore them everywhere. You ever see a picture of Desi, and I got pictures of him, you'll see these dog tags around his neck. But he had them on when he was killed, so I told the guys on homicide, man, I want those dog tags, and I've been wearing them ever since then. So they've been on my neck ever since then. So, of course, I had to wait for they to clear the case and all that, but I got them as soon as I could, and they've been on my neck. So,
well, he sounded like a really sensitive guy. I mean, if he took the time to make those dog tags for his kids, and I think he also asked you, had a request of you before he died. He did.
Desi used to always come and tell me, Pops, I need you to come talk to my boys, man. They don't have a daddy. I got both parents at home. I need you to come talk to my boys. I think you could help them out. They doing some things they probably shouldn't be doing. I know you could reach them. I've seen you talk to kids before. That's what I've been doing all my life, really, talking to kids, trying to get them off these streets, man. And so I told Desi, man, set it up. That's what Desi was already walking the east side, just never talking. I never approached none of his boys, but I was walking the east side talking to other guys and all, and telling them, man, let's put the guns down, stop killing each other. I used to work for an organization in town called Cure Violence. They're from Chicago. It's a global organization, and it's ex-cons that come back to the hood that they live in, and they their job is to, I used to tear down this hood, now I'm trying to build it back up. Yeah. And it's all violence. It's not, I don't care about whatever kind of hustle you got. If you hustling, slinging dope, whatever you do, I don't care about your hustle. I just want to stop killing each other. Right. And that's the whole premises of it, to stop killing each other. So I worked with them for about a year and a half as a supervisor at Cure Violence out east. They call themselves Noah's Ark, and I worked with them for about a year. Then I realized I was already doing that work, and I realized I could still do the work on my own. So I started, when I left there and I started doing it on my own again. But that's what Desi was trying to get me to do, talk to some of his boys, tell him, and every time he was busy, when I was free, he was busy. And then when he was free, I was busy. So we kept procrastinating, we never got around to it. So
there's still time.
The day of his funeral, the same day of his funeral, after we left from everybody eating at the repast, I got in my car, my wife and I got in the car, and we drove to Evergreen Avenue. That's where all the guys hang out at. And I drove to Evergreen Avenue, and I got out and started talking to the fellas that day, and started talking to them, hey man, we got to stop, put these guns down, stop killing each other. And what was neat was they had just paved the sidewalk, and the cement, the concrete was still wet. Somebody wrote in the concrete, Desi block. So now they call that, they don't call it Evergreen, they call it Desi block now. Everybody refer to it out east, they refer to it as Desi block. So, wow. Matter of fact, we go to Desi block, you can see it right on the corner where they wrote it in. It's not that far from me, you can see where they wrote Desi block in the concrete.
Y'all gotta know, man, it's pressure on at all times, man. Know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna think the game is ain't no game, man. Hey, y'all, what?
I want to ask you something about right over here.
Yes, sir.
I know this was a while. It's been a while since your son was killed, but
this sign. I told you I used to work with Cure Violence. That's their logo. They actually dropped this sign off here for me. Noah's Ark is the east side. We have a Noah's Ark. We have 3 Cure Violence organizations here in town. One on the west side, one on the east side, one on the north side. Each of them have their own name. We call ourselves Noah's Ark on the east side. is nowadays, you know, kids walk past a dead body, it's no big deal. You know, they lose a friend, it's no big deal. So this sign is just saying that death is not our norm. Our norm is life. You know, we got to stop treating death like it's normal. You know, when I was growing up, man, if I lost one of my boys got shot, it was a big deal. But nowadays, with kids nowadays, it's no big deal when their friends get shot and killed. So that's what this sign is all about.
That's great, man. That's great. Because sometimes people don't, they feel like they can't say anything, or they don't know where to go.
They don't know to reach out. And then they got that peer pressure from their boys. But see, they call this number and they ain't got to talk to nobody but the people there. And they'll give them help on trying to get up out of there without having to deal with it, you know, deal with the peer pressure from their boys, you know, so.
Just give them a sign.
And it's females out there killing people nowadays. We've had a couple of shootings on the east side where this girl's hanging out the back window with a chopper, spraying the block just like the other guys in the car. So it's not just guys doing it now, it's females out there doing it too, so.
Well, Kim, I mean, you're making a difference, man. And you know, this is a tragedy, you know, but I mean, what you're doing in your life, and it sounds like
trying to make the best of a tragedy.
Yeah. And Desi's living on through you.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna keep him living on through me, bro. I'm gonna keep walking these streets and talking to these guys, man. And it's been successful. We had a 6-month break in shootings on the east side. We went 6 months with no shootings.
That's all.
So you know, prior to us getting out there hitting the block, it wasn't like that. So we had a 6-month break, then we had a shooting where somebody came from the other side of town, came over to do a drug deal, and they shot at each other. They weren't east siders, but it killed our 6-month, our string that we was doing. So we had that break, and then we went another 3 months without a shooting after that one happened. Then another shooting, same thing, somebody from the other side of town, females involved. And they weren't east siders, you know, and then it went another, I think, 7 months without a shoot. So it's definitely making a difference. You know, we wouldn't have some shooting since then, but you know, I've had guns pulled on me. Walked up on the east side is real close knit. It's very close knit. So I walked up on these 3 guys, young boys, about 17 years old. There was 4 of them. One of the guys I'd never seen him before. So, you know, guys don't come to the east side just to hang out because it's so close knit. So this guy here, I walked up to him, hey fellas, I got this little spiel when I hit the streets. Hey fellas, I'm Kim Varner, you know, ex-cop, man. I'm walking the streets just telling the brothers, put the guns down, man, let's live, you know. It's a better lifestyle out there. When I did that, the one dude, and I noticed he had a bulge in front of his pants. He looked at me kind of strange, and he was like, he just, you know, like, you know, that is what the guy I'd never seen before. Finally said, hey, old school, you need to step off, man. You know, and he started cussing me out, calling me everything but a child of God. You need to step off, man. That's rude. You walk up in the middle of our conversation. That's one of the main things I learned over the years. These dudes don't want to feel disrespected. I say, bro, ain't no disrespect. You know, this is what I do. I do it 3 days a week. I live out east. I'm just trying to brothers out east just put these guns down. Dude said, man, you need to step on off. And like I said, he was cussing me out. And he turned his body like this, lifted up his shirt, and pulled his gun out. And he's standing there, he's holding a gun. If you're me, he's holding a gun about right there, pointing it at me. He got it turned sideways, he's pointing a gun at me. And the first thing I thought about was, man, this is gonna hurt getting shot in the stomach. And I had my hands up, say, bro, look here. And I'm a defensive tactics instructor. I could have swept the gun out of his hand and took mine out and eliminated the threat. That wouldn't have been a good look. I'm walking the street trying to save lives, and here I am taking one. So I say, bro, I say, man, look here, this ain't no disrespect. You ain't got to pull no gun on me. And all of a sudden, I felt like I had a real protection coming from heaven, telling me, you know, hey, I got you. Keep talking to this dude. Don't stop. Keep talking to him. Felt like, I don't know if it was Desi, God, or whatever it was, but you know, he just kept me. He said, man, keep talking to him, man. Talk to this brother. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you. That's what I felt, you know. So I kept talking to him. I said, hey, bro, you know, trust me, man. You know, I ain't trying to disrespect you. I'm gonna step off like you want me to. And I took a step back, and he lowered. And then one other guy said, man, that's Desi Daddy. He said, who? He said, that's Desi Daddy. Everybody out east know Desi. That's Desi Daddy. He said, he be out here all the time doing this. So the guy took the gun, he lowered it down, but now he got it pointed at my crouch. So finally I took my hand out, I started backing away and said, bro, look here, I ain't no threat to you. I'm gonna step off like you're asking me to, but if I see you again, I'm gonna approach you again. I say, and you ain't got to pull no gun on me, man. You know, I'm just out here trying to, you know, tell these brothers stop killing each other, you know. And I turned and I walked away. And when I got to the corner, I told some of the guys, one of the Desi boys, I told him, I said, man, dude, just pull the gun. I got mad about it. I said, man, little dude just pulled a gun on me around the corner, man. I said, little dude just pulled a gun on me around the corner. And you know, I said, you know, he said, who pops? Dude went to his glove box, got his pistol out, his car was going around the corner. There's somebody on the streets that, you know, I met while walking the streets. These guys are protecting me now. They won't let nothing happen to me. Because they know I'm, you know, he wanted to go around there and deal with the dude that pulled the gun on me, man. No, man, I didn't give him his information. But that's just how you build a relationship, like you say. Relationship building, these guys will protect you. They won't let nothing happen to you, know, so.
Well, Kim, thanks a lot, man. We can,
I appreciate you,
we can walk this way, and I see some people blowing at you.
Yeah.
There's some real respect around here for you, man.
Man, I tell you what, man, it's you know, I feel the love. I never leave this hood, man.
GT Films.
Bruh, I ain't talked to you in a minute. A lot of things done changed down here. Niggas ain't the same around here. And plus half of the team been in the chain gang since last year. I ain't gon' lie, it's been a bad year. I shed plenty of tears. I've been crying since you been gone. I strolled down my contacts, your number still there. Wish I can call your phone. Look at your pictures on the wall. When I go home, your main gone. Him and Smiley caught 3, Polo 2, and all they seem to think about is you. Zozo gone and take Varner be home soon. Keenan caught 5, bro. I'm sorry for all the bad news. They trying to take trouble. They talking about 2 years. The messed up part is he finna have 2 kids. We supposed to move to Atlanta, but the devil busy. See like they don't want us to leave this crowd city. Jimmy just be the case. CP he getting paid. Connie still working non-stop Monday through Saturday. Your main nigga Chichi still on his grind, but it's hard for him cause they don't wanna see him shine. Jike, same old Jike, he like to get dead fresh. He gonna Costa right now and spend a check for nothing. I go see Coleone and Kamara all the time. Told her my life changed, they'll change. I ain't lying, I ain't met Destiny yet, but bruh, she's so beautiful. And it's so scared cause she look just like a baby you. Remember Granny homemade waffles, ain't no more of them. Granny got cancer now, she ain't cooked in a minute. Bro, I forgot to tell you Kurt was locked up. He been in there for a minute, yeah, I know it's messed up. Since you been gone, it all turned for the worst. And it really hurts seeing you get put in that dirt. I know you Prosper and tell you up there acting the donkey, but we miss y'all down here forever, my home. Remember them felt street days and them late nights. You popping Molly back to back, getting high as a kite. I told you stop, bruh, cause that ain't you. You say I love you, little bro, I say I love you too. Whoever thought months later they'll come get you. You was too sharp, bruh, how you let a nigga take you? Your brothers Pookie and JJ, yeah, they holding you down. They go to your grave site whenever they in town. After you died, everybody got fired. Now they got be ready and slinging and stacking time. The rest of the family good, we all maintain it. When you died, the streets died, we ain't been doing too much hanging. Don't get it twisted, there's a block on the daily. Up to one of these rap niggas come and pay me. Remember them thoughts used to come round? Yeah, they still thoughts. They click hot, probably post on another nigga block. Before you die, you told me that I'ma reach the top. Only if you can see me now, I'm going non-stop. And every day I'm like, why you ain't had your protection? And why you left a nigga down here stressing? The Lord finna bless me. Why you couldn't be here for this blessing? Why you can't get spared and just took it as a lesson? God dang. But that's all, bro. I'ma let you go on about your business. Write me back as soon as you get this letter, my nigga. I love you. Yeah, Granddad said what's up. Tell brother tell you what they do. You know what it is. Your little brother, Papa.